All right, Pops, the top 10 fastest depreciating luxury vehicles in the United States of America. These cars lose more value than any others on the road. We did popular vehicles a couple weeks ago. Here's the luxury one. You ready?
I'm ready. I don't think the luxury buyers are, but I'm ready.
So if you bought an Alfa Romeo Stelvio, after 5 years, that vehicle will only be worth 32.9% of its original value. That's the number 10 fastest depreciating. What should we call these, Dad? The money pit cars. It's number 10 on our list. All the others depreciate even more than that. In 5 years, it loses 67% of its value.
Yeah, there is a vehicle that, everybody should just dump their money into if they're hoping to file for bankruptcy, say, in 4 or 5 years.
All right. Then at the number 9 spot, we have a Tesla. And at the number 8 spot, we have a Tesla. And interestingly, Dad, these are two Teslas that have since been discontinued. So this is interesting. At the number 9 spot, the Model X has 32.6% of its original value after 5 years of ownership. And the Model S has 31.3. So we're getting eerily closer here to 70% of the value of these luxury vehicles being lost in just the first 5 years of ownership. I imagine this will get even worse for the X and S as they've now been depreciated, literally deprecated from the Tesla lineup.
It just speaks volumes to the fact that Tesla understands at this particular point in time, it doesn't make sense to continue with these vehicles. Sales have been slower. And obviously, when you look at the depreciation factor, anybody in their right mind would, look elsewhere.
Absolutely. This is to say these as used vehicles will probably be a decent value because they lost so much value after those first 5 years. At the number 7 and number 6 spots, we have the Infiniti QX80 losing 69% of its value, being worth 31% of its value after 5 years. And then Jaguar getting in on the fun, the I-Pace. It's only worth 29.3% of its value after 5 years. That rounds out the top, or the bottom 5, I should say, of your top 10 fastest depreciating luxury vehicles, the biggest money pits in luxury vehicles in the United States of America right now.
Yes. And you said something a moment ago that makes so much sense. As a pre-owned car, if you were to buy one of these years when they're 5 years old, truth of the matter is you can't lose much more over the next 5 years because there was hardly any value left when you bought it.
Absolutely. All right, Dad, let's move into our top 5. These are going to be the vehicles that have lost the most value over the past 5 years. So sorry if you bought one of these. And yeah, there is a big trend here. At the number 5 spot, the Maserati Ghibli, Dad. It is worth 28.8% of its value after 5 years. And you know what? We're going to go to the number 4 spot too, because it's another Maserati, this time the Quattroporte, worth 28% of its value after 5 years. If I'm a Maserati customer, Dad, first things first, I'm looking for a 5-year-old used one because I can get it at 70% or more off from its original MSRP.
Yeah, and if you're a Maserati dealer, you're wondering, why did I do that? But yeah, these are vehicles that there's not much that depreciates faster. So if you're looking for a bargain on the used car side of things, Maserati could be a way to go.
Now, Land Rover had to get on the fun, Dad. The Range Rover, it is only worth 26.1% of its original value after 5 years of ownership. That is crazy, Dad. The number 3 fastest depreciating money pit in the United States of America, the Land Rover Range Rover, which has a cult-like following, but depreciates like crazy. Now we have a tie at the number 1 spot. It's two Maseratis, the Grecale and the Levante. Both are only worth 20.9% of their original value after 5 years of ownership. They lose 80%, 79% of their value after 5 years. Another title for this video could have been the biggest bargains after 5 years for luxury vehicles. Think about this for a second, Dad. You want a Maserati? Don't buy a new one. If you're a bargain shopper, buy the 5-year-old one because holy cow, they lose 70% or more of their value during that time.
That and the other use for these would be for anyone who has recently purchased a luxury yacht, say of $350 to $500 million. Well, nothing makes a better anchor for that yacht than dropping a Levante over the side.
Yes, seriously. All right, so now just to juxtapose this, let's do the luxury cars that depreciate the least over 5 years. At the number 10 spot, the Lexus RX 350 only depreciates 66.8%. Excuse me, it's only worth 66, not even only. It is worth 66.8% after 5 years. We can't be talking about the fastest depreciating vehicles and then, glance over the fact that this thing retains 2/3 of its value after 5 years. Audi with the S4 comes in at the number 9 spot. It retains 68.2% of its value. Another Lexus, the RC300, retains 68.8. Another Audi, the S5 Sportback, retains 70.5%. And then at the number 6 spot, another Lexus, the LC500, retains 70.7. So a totally different, juxtaposition here between the best and the worst.
Yes, these are vehicles that you're looking at that when you buy them, that when you go to trade them in or sell them, that you'll be able to retain a higher percentage of what you originally paid for these vehicles than, well, obviously the vehicles we discussed initially. These are the type of vehicles that if you have to have a car, and you want to get the best value out of that car, these are the vehicles that should pique your interest.
And again, if you're a used car shopper and you're looking for the used car value, it might do the inverse of that. Now, the top 5 that retain their value the best, we have another Lexus, the LC500, this time the hybrid, same exact depreciation. It only loses about 30% of its value. Then we have the Genesis GV80 and the Lexus IS500 are right there as well as the RC350. Dad, all of these only lose about 30% of their value after 5 years of ownership. And the number 1 luxury vehicle that retains the most value after 5 years would be the Lexus RCF. It retains 72.6% of its value. This top 10 list, juxtaposed with the other one, it's just a Lexus list is really what it comes down to. The other one obviously was just a Maserati list is where it came down to. So it's so interesting to see here. One list is all about Lexus retaining their value and the other is all Maserati losing their value. I think that also correlates to our popular vehicles lists where there are a lot of Toyotas on one list and a lot of Stellantis products, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram on the other.
Yes, this is really a list of Lexus and a couple Audis and one Genesis that sneaks in there. But these will, at least through depreciation, cost you a lot less over time than all those other luxury vehicles that we discussed initially, where you could lose 75% of the value in 5 years. I mean, that would be as if your stockbroker called you and said, give me $100,000 today, and I can show you how to turn that into $20,000 in 5 years. What do you say? Want to get started? And I believe the first thing you would say is, yes, let's get started. You're fired.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, then we have all this data back at CarEdge.com. All you have to do is go to CarEdge.com/ranks and then depreciation. We'll put a link in the description down below. And obviously, let us know if you want to see this for other types of vehicles or do your own research back on the website. Crazy list here, man. And yeah, definitely think before you buy any of these vehicles.
Yeah, especially if it starts with Maserati.